Hey guys, it's Frank Falbo with Seymour Duncan. I'm here at Sweetwater, and today I'm going to talk to you about the Double Back Compressor. Most guitar players have a love-hate relationship with compressors. We like that it gives us more sustain, but we can't stand the way that compressors chop off the transients. They cut us off on the top end. They only allow us to play so loud. You know, you pick the strings, you pick them harder and harder and harder, and you can't get any louder. And so thus the Double Back Compressor was born. What we do on the Double Back Compressor is we take an excellent VCA compressor, one that is also capable of being extremely fast. The fastness of a compressor, the fastness of the attack time is crucial on the guitar because the guitar's transients are so loud and so fast that if you have a compressor that reacts slowly, that can come through as kind of a pumping. It can be extremely unnatural. Sometimes guys will set their compressors to a slow speed to sort of restore some of the attack that a guitar normally produces. And that's fine too. We do have an attack knob on our compressor, so that if you want to use it in that way, you can. You bring the attack knob clockwise, and you get a longer attack time. But for the purposes of this display, I'll show it with the attack knob set all the way down, which in this case is the fastest. This is my clean sound without the compressor on. And you can hear that I have some snap in there when I pick the strings with my fingers. If I turn the compressor on, I get a ton of sustain. But if I try to pick harder, limited now. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's kind of a professional sound. It's nice and clean as far as the dynamic range goes. It doesn't color your bass or your treble like some compressors can, but it is limiting the attack. So with the double back knob, I've got 3 EQ settings that I can choose to bring back into the mix uncompressed. Right now I have it in the highs setting. There's also a mid setting, which is kind of like a Fat Texas mid-range boost. And then there's a full range setting, which brings back your signal, un-EQ'd at all. But if I have the compressor on, and I start to bring in the double back, where I'm bringing in just highs, you can hear that as I pluck harder, those highs are allowed to come through. And the easiest way for me to demonstrate that is to now take it away and go back to what it would have been had I not had the double back engaged. It's kind of one of those things that you really miss it when it's not there anymore, even though you may not have been playing with it in your compressors for the last 30-40 years. If I take it down to the mid-range setting, that can work really well for like a neck humbucker sound, where like right now I've got it engaged, and if I pluck softly, you can hear the compressor working and it brings up all this sustain, all this volume. But if I pick harder, I get this fat mid-range sound that pops out ahead of the mix. And once again, if I take it away, it really tend to miss it. Full range does exactly that. It blends in full range signal, so you can imagine what that sounds like. For those of you who have spent any time in the studio, you could refer to that as parallel compression, because you have an uncompressed signal that hasn't been frequency adjusted mixed with a compressed signal that also hasn't been frequency adjusted. So there you have it, the double back compressor. It's the compressor pedal for guitar players who love compressors, but it's also the compressor pedal for guitar players who hate compressors. This is Frank Falbo, signing off.